Hey, so Seven, welcome to another episode, episode 7 of What's Up Wall Street. That's the name of my show. So Seven, today I'm just gonna be asking you a lot of questions, like getting to know you, what brought you into trading, how you stay motivated, and how you don't get carried away by the wins, how you manage your losses. So how you doing?
I'm excited to share that for sure. I think just getting into financial literacy for people from all different walks of life is so important, and I think I feel great and I'm blessed to be in a position to be able to inspire others and share some of the experiences that I have for sure.
Yeah, thank you. So, how did you start trading? I don't think I've heard this story before. I know maybe you've heard it a couple of times, but
For me, I really got inspired by people that I followed on social media, and I was always interested in the market. I was an investor, but I wasn't a serious like investor where I just really bought shares and just let it ride. But I was never really pumping a lot of money. I was a college student, right? So not many college students just have a whole bunch of money to throw into the market. At least I wasn't really in that position to do so, and once I got into my professional career, I really just wanted to look for more ways to really build generational wealth. Where I'm just like, okay, everything that I'm doing now, it's all fine and dandy, but I need to start thinking about like my kids, right? Like I don't have kids yet, but I need to start thinking about my kids in the future and just changing the trajectory of my entire family. So I got really heavily involved in investing and reading books, and then eventually I got into trading because I just started seeing. I'm like, wait a minute, all these people are making money right now. Like, I could do it too if that's the case, right? And I'm like, I don't need a lot of money to make a lot of money. Oh yeah, I got to get in there
and that's how you got into
for sure,
options.
100%.
So, what was your first humble moment? Like, what shook you when you got into the market? Because I know all of us have that moment where you're like, "Oh, this is easy," and then you get shook and you have to like change your strategy.
Literally. So for me, um, my I had like my first amazing win, and it was shortly followed by my humbling moment where I traded Nvidia, I scalped Nvidia. It was the quickest amount of money that I ever made in my entire life, and it was a 45-second trade where I made basically like almost $7,000 in less than a minute. And from there, I was working two jobs at the time, right? And I decided shortly after, I said, okay, let me put in my 2 weeks. Got a blast. It's been real. Appreciate all the opportunities because I was working from 4 a.m. at a warehouse until like 6 p.m., working for a nonprofit. And don't get me wrong, I loved my job, and I've never been afraid of hard work, right? But once I made that, I was just like, yeah, like I made more than what I would make in 3 months in 45 seconds. So I'm gonna just do this full time. And I took a chance on myself, and that was shortly followed by one of the worst series of losses ever, where like I dealt with my first, major quad witching, which is just basically like a ton of selling happening, just low volume. And I dealt with my first major one where I was day trading every day. And in September 2020, I pretty much blew up my account. And I lost everything that I made and I was accumulating in 3 days. So from there, I had to really sit down and evaluate like, damn, somebody like me from humble beginnings just lost a year's salary in 3 days. Whoa, what am I gonna do? Is this even worth it right now? Do I want to continue doing this? And I just had to have that conversation with myself and make that decision where I'm like, no, like I can do this. If I made it, I can do it again. You know what I'm saying? I overextended myself and I didn't really have a strategy to execute to limit myself from going through something like that. So I would say that was my first real humble experience.
I've blown up accounts, so I can relate to that. Then you start to question yourself, and the confidence issue creeps in. But how did you regain your confidence after that
That's a
loss?
great question. I think it just came down to me sticking to my purpose, right? Where I asked myself, why is it that I started trading to begin with? Why am I trading? Why am I showing up every single day? Outside of the people that like look for me for guidance and that are relying on me, I have my own goals as well. Like I'm the oldest of seven. I got people looking up to me, little people. Like I come from humble beginnings where, my family is looking to me as the guy. Like I'm the golden child that's the problem solver, the one that's breaking barriers, the one that's taking the path less traveled, non-traditional job, So I'm like, okay, I got all these. I call it positive pressures because it's not like something that makes me feel bad. I don't mind having that moment. I don't mind. I like actually look forward to that spotlight where I'm like, okay, let me show you guys what I'm made of, because I'm just like you, but I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And really just living in my purpose every day, reminding myself of my why, and seeing that consistency where like, okay, I wasn't making those $7,000 in 45 seconds anymore. I had to really start small until I found the strategy. So once I started seeing, okay, I could consistently make $100, I could consistently make $200, then $300, and so on and so forth. Then I got addicted to the outcome, and I'm like, I can do this. So at first, I was definitely shook, absolutely, trembling hand, right? But a trembling hand could turn into a strong fist. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like that was me in my process where I just wanted to keep showing up every day. I was addicted to the outcome. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna get better and better and better. And then now I could do this full time. And then once I got to that point, the confidence just kept growing. And then it's just like, all right, if I could consistently get percentages, at that point it's just scaling up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay,
Right.
if I can hit 20% on every trade, now, instead of going in with $100, now I could go in with 1,000. Now I could go in with 10,000. I just need that
Uh-huh.
20%. I'm just doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I just got to
Yeah.
callous my mind because I'm taking more risks. So I think those, like, it wasn't one defining moment. I think it was just the whole picture, the timeline where I put my head down. I didn't go out. I stayed in my room locked in, education before compensation, learning as much as I possibly can, and then applying that until I found my edge to get me the confidence to where I could do what I do now at a high level.